special QB Power Hour. Today we're going to be talking about the new QuickBooks Accountant Apps program. I'm very glad to have you all joining us today. My name is Michelle Long. I am a CPA with my own practice called Long for Success. Very glad to have you joining us today. I'm not going to be talking a whole lot today. Instead, we're going to have Kevin Waugh from Intuit. Kevin, how are you doing today?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on the call, Michelle.
Well, cool. So there's your bio slide. If you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, and I'll pass the presenter ball to you, that would be great.
Sounds good. So hi, everyone. My name is Kevin Waugh. I'm a senior product manager working at Intuit, and I've been at Intuit for a little bit over 6 years now. And I'll actually be talking to all of you about a new feature and a new program that we're introducing, the QuickBooks Accountant Apps program. So let me go ahead and share my screen here. So give me 1 second.
And we are seeing your screen now.
Awesome. So before I dive straight into some talk about the Accountant Apps program, I did want to give some context about where we are, what we've done so far, and what's available to accountants today. If you remember, we actually launched a revamped QBOA experience, QBOA Apps Tab experience last September, in which accountants, master admin accountants, are now able to not only connect apps and manage apps for their firm, but actually connect apps and manage apps on behalf of their clients, all from within QBOA. Now, we understand that there's more than 550 apps to choose from in the QuickBooks App Store. So as a result, what we've done is we're now going to be introducing the Accountant Apps program, in which we're actually going to be partnering with, say, the top-rated, accountant-loved, pro-advisor-recommended apps to provide a more efficient way for accounting pros to provision, purchase, and manage apps on behalf of their clients, all from within the Apps tab in QBOA. So it's a lot more seamless of an experience that you would have compared to, say, managing a bunch of apps, say, for more than 10 clients, if you may. One of the pain points we've heard some accountants speak about before is that, especially when you grow the number of clients and when you grow the number of apps you have with them, it's very difficult in terms of actually keeping track of everything. So let's get down to the actual benefits of the program itself. So there's 3 main benefits. The first one is easier provisioning. So as we said before, we're starting off with the 8 apps in this program. The number of apps will continue to grow as we vet them for quality and rating. And essentially, with these apps that we partnered with, we make the curation process a lot easier, so you can easily discover them from the Apps tab itself. And you can go ahead as a master admin accountant, purchase the app on behalf of your clients, all from within QBOA. The second benefit of this Accountant Apps program is the simplified billing. So when you actually go ahead and purchase any of the apps through our program for any of your clients, at the beginning of each month thereafter, you will actually be receiving one consolidated bill with individual line items detailing all of your individual app purchases for each of your clients. So all of the app purchases you make from this program for any of your clients will appear in this one bill, and it'll get sent to you at the beginning of each month. It's a lot simpler than having to deal with, say, multiple bills for multiple apps for each of your clients. And then the last piece of the benefits for this program is accountants will get preferred pricing. So for all of these 8 apps and for the apps that we add to this program in the future, you'll be getting a 20% discount. So let's talk a little bit about what's in this program, which apps are in this program, and how available it is to everyone. So we actually rolled out to 100% of all of the accountants in the US, UK, Canada, and Australia regions. And everyone will have access to these apps here. It depends on which locale you may be in or which country you're in. Circulus, for example, is US only. Expensify, Float, Excel Transactions Importer are all available to all regions, but Method CRM is not available in the UK. So if you see these 8 apps here, we got Circulus, Expensify, Float, Excel Transactions Importer and Deleter, Method CRM, ServiceMate, SOS Inventory, and T-Sheets. All of these apps are now available to be purchased from the QBOA Apps tab. If you log into QBOA and go to the Apps tab, you'll notice the section right right in front. And I'll be going through that experience just to give you all a demo of what that experience looks like. But these 8 apps were highly recommended by accounting pros. We made sure that they're high quality as well in terms of the integration and fully compatible with QuickBooks Online. And lastly, if you go ahead and purchase these apps from the program, you of course can single sign on from within the QBOA apps tab into the app, so then you can go ahead and start using the app or work on it with your clients. So that's sort of the context here. Before I jump into the demo itself, are there any additional questions?
No, Kevin, just one thing. I know we've heard questions from people about, on the pricing. And I know you're going to go in here and show it. They just wanted some clarification. They were asking, is that discounted price the client's price or my price? And I think we can talk more about this later, but accounting professionals, you guys get to choose how you want to bill your clients. So when you use the apps, the 8 apps that are in this apps program, you're getting the reduced billing, like he's going to show you on Expensify here in just a second, for example. You're getting it for $7 instead of $9. Many accounting professionals build that $7 price into their monthly fees. They may tell the client, look, here's what we're going to be using, here's the apps I want you to use, and it's going to cost you $1,000 a month. And they include the price of the app with their services. If you choose to build that separately, that's up to you, but you will be billed under this accountant's app program. You will be billed one wholesale billing. So you've got, like he said, it's a lot easier to keep all of the client's apps and everything all together on one billing statement. So just wanted to kind of clarify that, and I think it'll make more sense as you go through and show them how this works, Kevin.
Definitely, and a really good point for calling that out, Michelle. The discount is available for accountants only if you purchase on behalf of the client and where the client is billed. Now, I'm going to actually walk you through the experience so it becomes a lot clearer, but this is the new experience that you as an accountant would see when you log into QBOA and click on the Apps tab. Now,
Hey, Kevin?
Yeah, go ahead.
I hate to do this to you, but you cut out a couple times. Do you want to just repeat what you said there? And for some reason, I couldn't hear you quite as well.
Okay, sure. Yeah, great call out, Michelle, in terms of who the discount is actually for and who actually pays for it. Now, in this program, accountants who purchase on behalf of their client where the firm is billed will get the discount. And I'll actually walk you through the flow to see how that appears. Now, when you actually log into the QBOA experience today and click on the Apps tab, you'll see this new experience here where we are actually showcasing all of the 8 apps that we're starting with in this program. You'll notice the section, Great Deals on Apps Trusted by Our Pro Advisors. And if you scroll down a little bit, you'll notice that the 8 apps, you can hover over them just to get a sense of what the MSRP price was. Say for Expensify, it was $9 per user per month. And with the 20% discount, it's now $7. So let's actually go through the experience. And assuming that I'm actually interested in Expensify, I would go ahead and click on the Expensify app card, and I would land on this page, which actually gives me some more information about the app itself. So some of this may be familiar to a few of you, in which, on our app details page, we show videos, some screenshots, key benefits of what the app does, how it works with QuickBooks, and some additional details. Similarly, you can also scroll through and take a look at the reviews and the ratings of the app. And if we move on to this next tab here, it comes down to the pricing. So the 20% off discount is actually only applied if the accountant purchases on behalf of their client and selects the firm as billed option. Now, Michelle was mentioning earlier that it's really up to the accountant to choose whether or not they want to take the margins from that and potentially pass off the entire discount to their clients. It's really up to the accountants and all of you to figure out whether or not you want to drive your value pricing strategy that way or not. We give you that option. Now, on the pricing tab here, you'll notice that here's the price that you would be paying with the 20% off discount. You'll also be able to easily compare what the price would be if, say, your client is billed. So you'll compare the corporate to this corporate plan here, and you'll notice the difference here as well. So let's say that you take a look at this information and the app seems great for you and your clients. So you can go ahead and click Get App Now. And at this point, it'll ask you whether or not you want to install this app for your firm or for your client. Now, currently, the program only offers a discount if you purchase on behalf of your client and the firm is billed. So in this case, I'm going to select my client here, and you'll see that upon selecting your client, you'll be given an option to either select the firm as billed option, in which you'll get the discount, or if you select the client as billed option, you can try it out with no discount there. One thing I do want to point out is if you see this drop down, you can definitely select clients from here as well, or you could just search for the client and it will easily pull it up, especially for some of you who may have more than, say, a few clients in here. So let's say that you want to get this discount, you want to purchase on behalf of your client. You go ahead and click on this firm as billed option, and at this point in time, for your flow, you would actually go ahead and click install. Now, because my sample account already has purchased an app for several of my previous clients, I have my credit card saved. But in your first time around, when you're going ahead to make a purchase on behalf of your client, you'll be asked to enter a credit card here. So I'm going to go ahead and click install now. And at this point in time, it'll actually take you through the checkout experience in which you'll be purchasing this app on behalf of your client. So for me, I'm purchasing on behalf of my client this app Expensify, and we'll see the actual three-step checkout once it redirects. So in the first step of the checkout, you'll notice that I'm purchasing Expensify for vino and cheese, and you'll notice that it's the corporate edition that I'm purchasing. One thing to note about Expensify is that Expensify charges based on the active usage of the app. So when you go through this checkout experience, you won't actually be paying anything right then and now. It's actually calculated based on the usage of the app itself by your clients. So you'll notice that when you go through the checkout, it will be $0, but in the future bills that you get at the beginning of each month, you'll be charged for those individual line items, which should reflect the amount that Expensify was used by you and your clients. So let's go through this experience and hit continue. I'll be able, on the second step of the checkout here, on the confirm order screen, to actually go ahead and confirm exactly what I'm paying for. So you'll notice that I see Expensify as the corporate edition. I'm going to be able to confirm some of these details. And again, because it's only based on the usage, you'll notice that it's $0 for now. When I click agree to the terms and place order, at this point in time, I actually have gone ahead and purchased the app, and I'm now able to use the app to connect to my client's company. So at this point in time, it'll actually show you an order receipt of your order. And when I click done, it actually takes me back straight into QBOA, into the client's context for who I had installed this app and purchased this app for. And at this point in time, I'll be asked to activate the app. So we've gone ahead and I've shown you the flow of how to discover these apps, how to purchase these apps, where you selected the firm as billed option to get that 20% discount. Just went through the checkout, and now we actually have to connect the app to QuickBooks itself so that everything can sync. So I'm going to go ahead and click this activate button, and after clicking activate, some of you may be familiar with this screen, but at this point in time you'll see an authorization screen in which you're allowing the sharing of data between Expensify and Intuit. I'm going to click connect, and with this I'll be able to single sign on into the app itself, into the Expensify app, and start using the app. So now if I want to invite my client's users and any additional users from the client company, I'm able to do that from within the Expensify app itself. So that in a nutshell is the overall experience of how to go ahead and discover, purchase these apps, set up these apps, connect them, and single sign on into the app. So that's the experience here. So one thing I do want to point out is we just covered the purchase flow, but we also want to talk about the management of these apps themselves. So if we go to the client apps is actually a place in which you can see all of the apps that you've purchased or connected on behalf of your client, but you're also able to see any apps that, say, your client has connected or an additional user from the client company has connected. So those apps can all be managed and can all be seen from your view here in QBOA. So don't need to worry about not being able to see apps that your client haven't added. They're all visible from here. Now, one of the things that I did want to point out is for Expensify, because you had just purchased this for your client, let's go to the actual client, and Cheese, you'll see that it actually shows up under the discounted apps you purchased section. Here, you can go ahead and launch, review the app, or disconnect if you need to. Now,
so, Kevin, a question. Let's say I've got a client that's already using Expensify, and now I want to put them in this, so I've got them on my wholesale billing. What do I do then?
Yeah, so let's say that you have a client who is already using Expensify and paying for the Expensify separately. Now, what would need to happen is if the client is already using Expensify and if the accountant is already the admin on the Expensify account, then what you could do is actually go through the same purchase flow, and because the accountant is already an admin on that Expensify account and they go through this purchase flow, they could go ahead and overwrite the billing for this Expensify subscription. And Expensify allows you to do that. Now, there are certain other apps in the program which currently don't allow you to seamlessly overwrite the billing. Say if you're paying for an existing subscription already and you wanted to take advantage of the discount and the billing, the single bill. Some apps will not do that. Expensify does today and Circulus does as well. For the other apps out there, you may have to go ahead and work with the ISV to cancel your current subscription and then go through our QBOA apps tab to purchase it at a discount and get the additional benefits of the billing.
Okay, that makes sense. And so now, what if I'm just a staff person at the firm or a team member? Am I able to do this for my clients, or is it someone like the master admin of the firm? Can you explain that?
That's a great question, Michelle. And at this point in time, it's only the master admins of the QBOA accounting firm who can connect or purchase apps or manage apps on behalf of their clients. Now, if you're a full access admin of the firm itself, you can go ahead and add apps for your own firm, but you won't have the privileges to actually go ahead and do this for the client. We have that in our backlog and we plan on addressing that in the future, but at this point in time, it's only the master admins who have this functionality to connect, purchase, and manage for their clients.
So if I'm a team member of the firm, I won't even see this client app tabs, will I?
Correct. That is correct.
And so if I'm not master admin of the firm, there's a situation where the partner of the firm set it up, but he doesn't want to be the one that does all this. He wants, maybe Susie or John to be responsible for adding all the client apps. What do we do? Can we have more than one master admin? Yeah,
that's a great question as well. Unfortunately, the workaround that you may need to use in this case is to share master admin credentials. That's something that, again, we're hoping to get onto our roadmap sooner than later in terms of allowing other granular roles and privileges for certain folks to go ahead and do this. But at this point in time, if you want to go ahead and have someone else as part of your firm do this kind of stuff, they will either need to have that master admin title transferred to them or share the credentials with the master admin.
Okay. And if you don't mind, I want to get on my soapbox for a minute because
Sure.
I see some of these questions from people that say, but boy, oh boy, here's one we have. Boy, oh boy, QBO plus all the 30 apps needed to meet most client needs sure does add up and cost money. And I do hear that from a lot of accounting professionals. I have the privilege of going to all these different cities and training accountants about QuickBooks and help them get certified and stuff. And I always hear the question almost everywhere we go like this. My gosh, it's going to cost a lot. And I usually, when I'm in these live events, I will say, well, let me ask you a question. How many of you do taxes? And usually half to two-thirds of the audience raise their hand. They all do taxes. And I said, okay, how many of you use a tax prep software? And almost all of them raise their hands that they use tax prep software. And I say, how come? Why do you spend hundreds and thousands of dollars on a tax prep software when you could download the IRS PDF forms theoretically and do it manually? People laugh. I'm like, why are we e-filing? How many of you want to go back to paper filing? And they all laugh because they know it's absurd. You cannot do tax prep manually. If you're using a tax prep software, it enables you to prepare much more tax returns because you're much more efficient. You can prepare and e-file tax returns way faster than if you're doing it the old way or doing it manually. And so we pay hundreds or thousands of dollars for tax prep software to improve our efficiency, which also improves our profitability. It allows us to make a lot more money. And our industry has changed, and we need to realize that we need these power tools for us and our clients. You know, so when you're talking about QBO or Expensify or HubDoc, all these third-party apps, they actually, yeah, they cost a little money. However, it makes people and our small business clients way more efficient so they can be more profitable. You don't see anybody building a house using a hammer and nails. They're using a nail gun. They're using a power saw. We have to use power tools as well. And a lot of times it's the accountants that are more concerned about the cost than it's our clients. Our clients realize the benefit of how they can have fewer headcount or they can get more done and make more sales and stuff because it's going to save them time and improve their efficiency. So sorry about that. That's my little rant on this. And one other person said, a tax prep software is all-inclusive. QBO is equivalent of buying tax software that only includes 1040s but has an app for 1065s, 1120s. So in other words, it's like paying additional for corporate tax returns or partnership tax returns or 990s. And you know what? If I'm only doing personal tax returns, why should I have to pay for the corporates and the partnerships? If I'm not using that, why pay for it? So it's the same thing here with QBO. You only pay for specialized apps that you need. You don't have to pay for everything if you're not going to use it. You're able to find and get just what you need, like Expensify or T-Sheets. So I really think a lot of us need to change our thinking on some of that. So do you want to add anything?
Michelle, I love that analogy that you brought up, and I don't think I could have said it any better than you. I mean, at the end of the day, apps are all about saving time, efficiency, both for the accountant and their clients themselves. And with this program, hopefully we can allow you to spend a little bit less time also discovering the right apps to use. And on top of that, get these added benefits of the 20% off discount as well as that one single bill sent to you at the beginning of each month.
Well, and that's true because with this apps program here where we're able to manage it all from within QBOA and get one billing for all of our information, I think that's a huge time saver for the firm and for us to help us manage our clients. So yeah, I love this, and I'm thrilled that you all are working on it. And so if you could go back for me, I just want to clarify again, if you can go back to somebody that has discounted apps you purchased and ones that the client has. So right here, this is perfect. So I just want to clarify this because we had a lot of questions about the different apps and stuff. As Kevin mentioned, there's over 550 apps at apps.com. Those are the ones that are Intuit approved, and your client might have set one up previously on their own, or maybe you helped them set it up previously. Those apps you still can manage right from here. You'll see where it says Apps Others Connected down towards the bottom of Kevin's screen. You will still be able to manage those apps and see those apps right here, but they're not part of your wholesale billing and discount program like Kevin's talking about with this new accountant's app program. Those are only the 8 right now, but Kevin, you did say that they're going to be adding more. Any idea, like, are you going to be doing so many a month, or do you have any projections or estimates or anything?
Yeah, I can't share any estimates as of now, but I will say that we're aggressively trying to add as many apps that are high quality into this program. And another thing is, another question we sometimes get is, well, are you just going to be looking at, say, one expense tracking tool in the program versus adding others? And I think the way that we're looking at it now is we don't want to set any limitations. I think it really comes down to whether or not the app is useful for the accountant and is heavily used by accountants. And so in the start, we may be targeting, say, trying to get, say, a specific app for each category, but we won't limit ourselves just to that one in the future.
Well, and that's great. Yeah, and I think it's awesome that you all are able to negotiate with these third-party developers to streamline this process for us, because it saves a lot of time for us when we're managing these apps and stuff for our clients. So I think that's awesome. Do you want to go back again to the Find Apps and show them again the 8 apps that are included to start with?
Yeah, totally. So these are the 8 apps: Expensify, Method CRM, T-Sheets, ServiceMate, Float, Circulus, Excel Transactions Importer and Deleter, and SOS Inventory that we're starting off with. We'll definitely keep you looped in, Michelle, as well as all the other accountants as to which apps we plan on adding or have added into the program in the future. So we're going to continue adding to the pipeline, and we're still working on that. One other thing as part of the... Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Well, no, just one more thing I was going to point out. That Excel importer and deleter, that is an awesome tool that we as accounting professionals may be using for some of these clients or in situations where, let's say they've got a third-party system that does not integrate with QuickBooks Online. Maybe they're using some point-of-sale system or who knows what. They've got another system, and you need to import data into QuickBooks Online, whether it's giant journal entries or whatever. This is a great tool for us as accounting professionals to import and delete tools in QBO. So that might be something a lot of us accountants and bookkeepers are wanting to use when we're working with some clients. So I'm sorry, Kevin, go ahead with what you were going to talk about.
No, this is definitely a very good app and is loved by our accountants so far. One of the things that I did want to bring up is we covered sort of the entire discovery process of how you find these apps here. You went through the checkout, you selected the firm as billed pricing, and you got the discount, and you activated the app. Now, some of you may be asking, okay, what about the actual management of the apps, say looking at the actual bill, the consolidated bill, editing your billing information, managing your subscription, canceling your subscription. So all of that can be found under this drop-down Manage Discounted Apps. You'll see the View Monthly Invoice, the Edit Billing Information option, and the Manage Subscriptions option. It can be found under Client Apps. One of the other areas in which we've added it should be very familiar with a lot of you who may be already purchasing wholesale QBO accounts on behalf of your clients. So under your account, which I'll take you to next, I actually don't have any wholesale clients here, but a lot of you may. But under that section, you'll see this Manage App Subscription section in which we've added this. And so you'll see this Manage Discounted Apps drop down, same few options that I spoke about earlier, the View Monthly Invoice, Edit Billing Information, and Manage Subscriptions. And there's always going to be a link to the community article here if there's any additional questions you may have or comments that you want to share. Now, I do want to just spend some time on this View Monthly Invoice option, so I'm just going to go ahead and click on this. And I had just purchased Expensify, so that Expensify purchase won't show up on any of the bills that I have. Again, it's going to be showing up in the bill on the 2nd of the next month. But what I will actually show you now is actually the invoice that I've got in my previous month. So just by clicking this link, it'll show me a deep link to the invoice itself, so you would be able to see that here. And each of these invoices has individual line items for each of your apps that you purchase for any of your clients. Another thing that you can do is, of course, edit your billing information. Say if you needed to edit your credit card information, you could just click on this link here. And then the last link would just be if you needed to update your subscription in terms of adding number of users, or if you wanted to cancel your subscription, you could do that from this link here. So that's pretty much a wrap, Michelle, in terms of the functionality here.
Awesome. One more thing I'd just like to add here, because we get questions, again at these live events frequently. When you're talking about, edit the billing info or managing the subscriptions, one of the questions that come up is, what if a client leaves me? So let's say, a client goes out of business or they decide to go to another accountant or whatever. You can take them off of the wholesale billing for these apps or for QuickBooks Online. The client's data is still there. They can take over that subscription, put their own credit card in, and continue paying for that and everything, but they lose your discounts on QBO or on these apps and things like that. But like he just showed you, it's super easy to manage the subscriptions and take them off of your wholesale billing at any time. So, that doesn't mean the data is gone. It just changes the billing, and then they can continue their own subscription.
That's correct.
Awesome. Well, anything else that you want to add? I think you've got a slide, or I've got a slide. I wanted to make sure to share with them the information for to learn more and to send feedback. So if there's nothing else that you'd like to share, I'll go ahead and change and take the presenter back.
Sounds good.
All right. So here's a screen where they've got a link here where you can go in to see how the Accountants App program makes it easier to work and things like that. And then best of all, here's where you can send feedback. QBO apps at Intuit.com. I'm sorry, QBOA apps at Intuit.com. So if you've got suggestions, hey, I would love to see this, or can you change that? Intuit, I love the things you guys do for us, Kevin, like giving us new things to help our life easier. But like I told you the other day, the more you give us, the more we want. So people are always asking, I want more, I want more. Like the ability, like you said earlier, to assign different permissions to users within the firm and things like that. So if you all have feedback, comments, and suggestions, go ahead and email those to Intuit, because the more we email them, the more they keep working, and things just keep getting better all the time. I mean, that's one of the things I just love about Intuit is you guys are always listening to us and to our feedback.
Definitely, and keep it coming. We appreciate the feedback. We appreciate you checking out the program, and we hope to deliver more value to you in the future.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Kevin, and to everybody else. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you on the road or at one of the conferences coming up. Bye, everybody.